Hi, and welcome to Coffee with Claire. Have you ever heard the term that necessity is the mother of invention? Well, entrepreneurs are wired like that. They see a situation, they see that it needs some help, and they're automatically starting to think about different ways to make it even better. And in improv, we even help that thought process with our new improvisers, where we tell them, as soon as they hear a suggestion, to be thinking of 10 different things about that suggestion. That way, the scene can go in at least 10 different ways. You know, now some people are natural problem solvers with people, and others are people that like to invent things. Either way is phenomenal because we need all of your thought processes. We need people like you that think about things in a little bit different way, because that's what makes us progress as people. So my challenge for you today is to be thinking about a problem or a situation that you're encountering that you might like a little help with. Give us some hints on our Coffee with Claire Facebook page, and let our Coffee with Claire community help you brainstorm. As you know, each week we interview entrepreneurs, people who give back to the community, and people who like to have fun. And today I'd like to welcome Sharon Caswell. Woo woo! High five for Sharon Caswell. She is the CEO of Pony Up Technologies. And while we think of wearable technology strictly in terms of devices for humans, that's no longer true. Horses are now the beneficiary of advances in sensor technology, and the trend is gaining momentum in 2017. There are several new companies jockeying for position in the equine space. Pony Up Technologies is one of these companies, and their technology has features that sets it apart from the rest. With a software engineering background and lifelong interest in horses, today's guest, Sharon Caswell, holds the reins at Pony Up Technologies, which has developed a new device called VetCheck. Her background in software development, team leadership, product development, and marketing gave her all the skills needed to give strategic and tactical guidance for developing a product from scratch. Wow, that's very interesting. Can't wait to learn more. Sharon has led numerous successful software projects, including the logistics software that was used to move major items for the U.S. Army during U.S. Desert Storm, and before that, she wrote the back-end processing system for Visa and MasterCard. While building the VetCheck concept and early device development, she spent time consulting for companies like Ericsson, Cisco, and AT&T. Sharon has been a lifelong horse owner, and she currently has 2 horses and rides as often as possible. She holds a BA from the University of Vermont. So, welcome, Sharon.
Thank you.
Wow, that's a lot to talk about. That's a lot of information. Well, now, how long have you had these 2 horses?
One of them for 19 years.
19?
19.
Wow, how long do horses live?
20 to 25 years.
Okay.
It's pretty average.
Yeah.
They can live a lot longer than that.
If you take really good care of them?
I'm sure it's genetics, just like people.
And so you've had one for 19 and one for
17.
17. All right. And what was the idea behind VetCheck? I mean, you know, a lot of entrepreneurs get inspired by a moment in time that they're like, oh my gosh, I've got to do something about this. So what was your VetCheck moment?
It all started about 9 years ago when a little girl named Juliette Brown was out riding with her dad, and they had a horrific accident, and she died as a result. And I decided to look for technology that could give me real-time information on any living being, but horses were my focus. Mm-hmm. And I found a company in Charlottesville, Virginia, that was developing this technology for the military. And I called them up and said, I love your technology, I'd like to take a look at it, and the rest is history.
So you had this moment when this little girl lost her life, and you felt like there could be something that could have monitored the horse to know if that horse maybe was a little off before they actually went on the ride that day? Or?
Well, no, it was the thing that led me to do the research to find the technology. We could, in fact, use it that way if we could use it in exercise physiology, but it's not capable of doing that right now.
Gotcha. Okay. So what sets VetCheck apart from other wearable devices for horses?
I think I can sum that up in that all the other wearable devices, we can do everything they can do, but they can only do a fraction of the things that we can do.
Oh, okay. So what are some of the additional things that you guys can do?
We'll be able to do hemorrhaging wirelessly, non-invasively, and hydration. Those two things, there isn't anybody else that can do those. So this device will do blood pressure monitoring, cardiac function, not just heart rate, but full cardiac function, respiration, hydration, and hemorrhaging.
And the big thing about VetCheck is what you said earlier, it's non-invasive. And when you were telling us a little bit before the show started about this non-invasive technology, I was blown away because I had no idea how invasive it was for, when they're checking for the foals, when they're having babies, and what they have to sew something inside of the horse?
Right, that's the foaling monitor.
Yeah.
We'll be able to replace that with this technology. And like I said, it's non-invasive, it's wireless, it's remote, so you can actually monitor from any smart device.
So I would imagine that your primary and secondary markets are right in front of us. I mean, I would think anybody that owns a horse would want to have something like this.
I think there are an awful lot of horse owners that want it. Our primary market's going to be veterinarians.
Okay.
And then our secondary market is going to be upper-level horse owners.
So with the veterinarians, they'll be able to monitor their patients off-site?
They'll be able to monitor patients off-site and on-site. A lot of these larger clinics have ICUs.
Wow.
And so they can have a device on each of the horses in an ICU and monitor them continuously, which, saves them money, saves them time, could save the horse's life.
So, the types of things that VetCheck does are really state-of-the-art. You're changing the game.
Right.
And when you're working with the vets, do you have like a training program that you help them understand how to use this technology? Or
Yes, we actually have a contract with Henry Schein Animal Health, and they're the largest distributor of equine equipment in the world.
Wow.
So they have...
Congratulations.
Thank
That's
you.
exciting.
It's huge. And they have a trained sales force.
Okay.
We train their sales force to use our device.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have a team that goes out with their salespeople once they've made the sale and help train the end user.
And then do the end users get some kind of a certification that shows, hey, yes, they are A-OK to be able to use our device?
There isn't a certification at this time, but that's a good idea. We might do that at some point, sure.
I'm a trainer. That's what I think of. So how do you plan to market VetCheck?
Primarily through distribution. We have some independent salespeople that are also going to be selling it.
And will there be a huge marketing campaign that gets released, or is it going to be kind of more like a trickle effect, kind of like you tell two people and you tell two people and so on and that kind of thing?
No, there'll definitely be a big marketing program.
Awesome.
We do trade shows. We're going to be doing a press release very soon with Henry Schein. We'll be jointly marketing with them. So we'll be in their booth and have our own booth at the big trade shows.
And so does Henry Schein help fund the program, or do you also have other entities that are coming on board to help fund? Because I know there's a lot of research that you had to do before you even got the product ready for testing.
That's very true.
Yeah.
No, we did most of the development pretty much on a shoestring. We had some investors, more friends and family kind of investors, and we could definitely use more investment money at this point to push the product out the door.
So, and a lot of entrepreneurs don't know how to go out and get funding. So what has been the best way for you? Is it just been showing them the technology and getting people excited about it, or what's been your approach to those potential investors?
It's kind of been mixed. Some of it is word of mouth. Sometimes there's groups of investors that have friends that they bring into a group, and then they all invest together.
Okay. So it's not just, it's like an entity of people that come together and invest in your company.
Well,
or a company?
early on, it's seed money, so that's probably the hardest money to find, because really we didn't have a product, and we needed to get money to develop the product,
Right.
and that's usually really hard. Once you have a product and you have a distribution agreement and you're ready to go to market, then it's much easier to get venture money to come in. So right now we're looking at venture funding.
Got it. So when people have been testing your technology, what are some of the things that are people saying about the product? You know, is it really easy to use? They're just blown away that they can get so much information?
I think that the amount of information that they can get from such a small device is incredible, and everybody's always very skeptical at first that they can get something that's non-invasive to give them that kind of information. However, it has been through FDA for blood pressure, it's been through FDA for respiration, and it's been through and it's now going through FDA for hemorrhaging. So there's a lot of information that's proven that they can get from this device.
And the FDA says so.
And absolutely. Can't get better than that.
Well, besides horses, can VetCheck be used on any other animals?
It can be. The algorithm has to change. We're thinking about doing it on cattle.
Okay.
And then camels. And I know everybody goes camels. They have no idea what a huge market that is in the Middle East. Camels actually cost more than racehorses.
Wow. And when we were kind of doing some investigative research for the show, Sharon showed us some footage of camel racing, and it's the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. Where they actually have,
is fascinating.
Yeah, they've got the camels and they're riding, and then they have like robots that are little jockeys on top of them, and then all these guys in these Mercedes and really fancy cars are like driving next to it, controlling the robots.
Yep.
It's amazing. But,
it is
but this is something that a lot of people that have a lot of money are doing to, pass their time.
Right.
So why not make sure that their camels are healthy to race just like we do horses here?
Right.
I mean, it makes sense. It's just a whole new world. I need to
is.
get out more, obviously. So, Sharon, before you actually started this company, you had a lot of experience in big business and working for big companies and things like that. And I think, like a lot of entrepreneurs, your story is similar in the fact that there was a point in time where you're just like, I am not doing this anymore. I am going to do something that is really meaningful to me and feels like it's paying it forward to the things that are important to me. So would you mind sharing just a little bit about your background in the corporate world before you made the shift into being an inventor and an entrepreneur?
Well, a lot of my background was in product development for telecommunications. And in that, I got to do a little bit of everything. I worked with the engineering group, I worked with the operations group, I worked with the sales teams.
Wow.
And I purchased inventory. For one of the companies that I worked for, I actually had the highest signature power in the company.
You could write the big checks?
I could write a $3 million check.
Wow.
Without a second signature. So that's a lot of
big,
responsibility.
yeah.
So when I started the company, all the experience that I'd had over, I'm not going to say how many years, a lot of years.
At least 3.
Really paid off. I mean, all the things that I knew how to do, and then, the things that I needed to learn how to do weren't as hard as they would be for somebody starting out without having that experience.
Right. And, that's important. If you're an entrepreneur and you have an idea and you're not exactly sure how to execute it, it's okay to find other people to help you. Now, Sharon, you had all the background and you could do it yourself, but then you found once you got your platform, then you needed to bring people in for other things that you didn't, necessarily want to do. So you kind of had that choice, because sometimes it's nice to be able to delegate. At the beginning, you can't because you got to do everything. You got to spin all the plates and make sure that they're all, not tipping over at the same time. But now you've got a nice team behind you that is helping you with sales as well as more and more research and development, right? That hasn't stopped.
A lot of them are outside of our company, though. I mean, we're using a lot of resources that are actually, in some ways, free to us. But
that always works with an entrepreneur's budget.
Yeah, like the Henry Schein sales team. I mean, we don't pay them unless they deliver. So that's really nice.
That is nice. Yeah.
Developing a sales team for your own company is a huge expense.
It is. So out of all of the challenges, because I know that when you're starting out you have a lot, but out of all of the challenges, which has been the biggest one for you?
There are probably two. I mean, probably first and foremost was getting funding. I mean, getting funding is just, I think any entrepreneur will tell you that that's the toughest thing to do, is to find people that believe in you and believe in your product and are willing to write you a check. Mm-hmm. Outside of that, I had done enclosures before, but I had never had to have a mold built in China.
Wow.
And all the intricacies that are involved in that are incredible. And getting it over to the U.S., I had to air freight it over, and to see what the first mold looks like, and that's a big deal. That was something I hadn't done from the very beginning, and that was a lot of challenges in that.
Yeah, and just maybe even the communication between speaking English and speaking Chinese and understanding the cultural differences of how to do business over there. I can imagine that was a whole upward learning curve.
That was
vertical.
Interesting. Even though I used to travel to China a lot on business, I mean, I hadn't done something like this before, so that was different.
So is Pony Up a one-trick pony? Or are there other technologies that you have on the horizon out there?
No, it's absolutely not a one-trick pony. Like we were just talking about, we're going to eventually do cattle and camels, but we have a couple other products that we're going to be developing near term. We have a temperature monitor that can be integrated with VetCheck, or it can be a standalone product, and it's wireless and remote. And then we're doing a full monitor, which monitors neonates. And then we're doing a foaling monitor that monitors pregnant mares when they're foaling.
So one of the things that Sharon was sharing with us earlier was that a lot of times when the horses are transported for these races, they get a little dehydrated because the water in the different places smells different, and so the horse will refuse it at first. But you guys, with your technology, you can monitor when they're starting to get dehydrated before it gets to the point of making them really sick, right?
Right. One of the things that we want to do, and we haven't done yet, is to equip one of the big cargo planes with our devices, so that the horses that are being transported back and forth to Europe, can be monitored the entire time that they're in flight. If anything goes wrong, then you have somebody that can contact an equine ambulance on the ground and have it at the plane when it lands.
This is a whole new industry. Equine ambulance, camel racing. You are such a wealth of information, Sharon. If you had a piece of advice to give a new entrepreneur, what would you tell them? What would you share with them?
I think probably the biggest thing and the biggest surprise to me was that everything that you do is going to take 10 times longer than you ever thought. The frustration is sometimes overwhelming. And the best advice I can give anybody that really is passionate about something, stick with it. Just stick with it.
Yeah, believe in yourself, believe in your vision, believe in that you can do it. Maybe you don't do it exactly this way, so you adjust the sails a little bit and try a different way, but you keep following your heart.
Right.
Yeah.
And when
your
something
passion.
doesn't work over and over and over, try something else because it's never going to work.
Isn't that the definition of insanity?
Yeah.
Well, Sharon, it's been a pleasure to have you here today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Today we're going to play the game Two-Headed Entrepreneur. Claire and Shelby will be one person where they will be speaking at the same time. Sharon and Ruth will be speaking one word at a time, and they are another person. Now, may I get a suggestion of a location? Chicago. So your suggestion is Chicago.
Got it.
Players, are you ready?
Yes!
Sweet. In.
Hi, my name is Earl. I am an entrepreneur.
Hi,
Hi.
how
Are
you,
today?
Earl?
Well, I had a bad accident on my way here.
Oh,
No.
that
Is
horrible
what?
happened.
Well, I fell on a tree branch.
Oh,
That
tree
must
have
broken
pretty
fast.
Yes, I do have a few extra pounds.
it
Should
not
have
happened.
to
You
Are you saying that I am nice?
well,
maybe,
but
maybe
not.
Hey y'all, you guys trying to hit on my man?
Hey,
not
really?
Good, because Earl's my guy. You got to find your own guy.
But
it's
better
sometimes
with
Earl.
That's time. Good job, you guys. Good job. And that is the game of Two-Headed Entrepreneur. So, Alex, we're all so busy. How do you balance fun with responsibility at work?
I think it's about kind of keeping your priorities straight and knowing what needs to be done and really focusing in on that, and then kind of giving yourself time as well to relax and to have that fun. Give yourself that freedom to have fun.
So what are some of the fun things about growing your business?
Really just seeing it grow, actually, where it's, where you reach out and you can see your customer base just kind of grow with time. And that's really gratifying to see that, where, you're reaching out to, 10,000 people, then suddenly 100,000 people. And, you just build up that customer base.
So how do you encourage others in their life to have fun?
I think give yourself the freedom to kind of put yourself out there and fail, and to enjoy it, and we're so dominated by success stories where everyone thinks that you succeed on the first try, but it's not about that, and you can just have fun in the process.
So what advice could you give someone that might be struggling right now as to how to keep it fun?
Don't sweat the small things, really. I think that, at least personally for me, there's a lot of anxiety about smaller things, but when I kind of remind myself that they're not that, important in the end, or it's not something ultimately that I can get this fixed, I can, get everything on, right back on track, then I can kind of let myself kind of let go and kind of refocus in on what I need to do.
So tell us a little bit about your business.
With 6 Month Smiles, we provide short-term orthodontics to adults, don't want to kind of have to wear metal braces, and it's kind of an alternative to comprehensive orthodontics.
So, if you had a happy dance or a happy stance, what would that look like?
I really like the Captain Morgan kind of thing. So it's like.
Now remember, you don't have to be an inventor to be a problem solver. All you have to do is think of things in a little different way. So my challenge for you this week is when you are faced with a situation, a problem, something that needs a little bit more attention, think of 10 different ways that you might be able to approach it. Write it down. You don't have to use them all. They're just great ways to start thinking about it in a different way. Let us know how it's going on our Coffee with Claire Facebook page. And remember, follow the fun. See you next time.